This is the Yom Yom for today, wisdom of the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe. My father said, truth is the middle path. You do what's true. An inclination to the right to be overly stringent with yourself, or to find faults or sins not according to the truth, or an inclination to the left to be overly indulgent, and you to make excuses for yourself, covering yourself, your faults, or being lenient. And both of these ways are false. Don't do more than you have to, and don't do less than you have to. Don't judge yourself too strictly. Don't judge yourself too leniently. But you have to know your qualities. And most people don't know their good qualities. Most people are not aware of their own talents and abilities and and how do you say unique what is it? Unique good character traits. Most people are not aware. Okay, that's utter. So you have to look at from my father's speeches, the sins of Aaron's sons. Remember that Aaron had two sons, his two older sons, and the first day that the tabernacle was open, that's why he's talking about it now. The tabernacle was open, was on the first day of Nisan, we talked about. Immediately they rushed in. They rushed into the holy tabernacle, Yom HaShemini, the 8th day of the inauguration. They rushed into the tabernacle and they died. It says the two beams of fire went into their nostrils and killed them. It says, what was the sin? What did they do wrong? They came close to God and they died. This was called coming close to God. They wanted to come close to God, but they didn't want to come back to the world. The fact is that before you want to come close to God, you have to be pure. And this must be evident in your deeds, doing the commandments, getting your personality in order, getting rid of anger and depression and those things. And that which on the very highest planes, in order to do this, means you're on the highest levels, come down to the lowest levels. If a person goes up to the high levels and he doesn't want to come back, then it's death. Going out of his body, doesn't want anything to do with the world. So God commanded to Moses. Moses said, Daber al Aaron. Aaron has the words of nir'eh, to be visible. It means seeing, intellect. Moses, namely your Jewish soul, is to tell the Aaron who is serving God, seeing God, that if you want to come into the Holy of Holies, then you have to know that on the ark, the letters of the words of Torah, Aaron is also the same. Seeing, there's a kaporet. You want to come to the inner secrets of Torah, then you have to conceal. You have to conceal. There's a covering, an inner intent and purpose of concealment. The reason why God is concealing his secrets from the world, he's concealing because he doesn't want us to get too involved in the spiritual at the expense of this world. Therefore, you should not die. You should not stop with just coming close to God, because in a cloud I will appear on the Kaporet. The inner intent of the reason that God concealed himself is in order that he should be revealed in this world. So don't try to ignore the concealment of this world and just want to come close to God. Good idea, but it has to be accompanied by a desire to fix the world as well. And that's what it says, ve'al, and he should not enter. This means you have to nullify yourself. Don't do what you want. You want to come close to God because that's what you want. You want to do Torah and the commandments because you want to go to heaven. You want to be special. You want to be, if it's you wanting to do it, it could be you'll achieve everything that you got, that you desired. But in the end, it's destruction because you're not taking God's desire into the equation. God's desire is that this physical world should be fixed up. Therefore, you have to do what Chassidut demands and not what you think is good. Then you can go into the holy. In other words, don't remove yourself from the physical world at the expense of the physical world. You should remove yourself from the physical world, that the world shouldn't disturb you, or you shouldn't get involved, or shouldn't, how do you say, confuse you. But the reason for it is not to go and be spiritual alone and leave the world, that the world is bad. The world essentially is very good, but it's covered by a thick shell. And this is what we have to do, is to get rid of this shell, and then we can realize that the essence of the world, the physical world, is really very, very good. Okay, now here we go.